Welcome back to the Real Talk podcast. It's me, your boy Gilz. We got the full panel here today. We got X, we got Beastley Adams, we got Banks, and we're doing a movie review today. Not on a movie that just came out, but this was more of a special request. This is a movie that came out about a year or two ago. We're doing Queen and Slim. So I know a lot of people got a lot of stuff to say about it. Where do y'all want to begin?
Um, I mean, first of all, let's just get everybody feelings on the movie. What was y'all by now I'm pretty sure I would hope we've all seen it at least a couple of times. What was y'all first impression on the film? What you got, X?
I thought it was dope. I thought it was a nice. It's something that I always wanted to see, like a black um perspective of Bonnie and Claude. So I thought it was dope.
What you got, Beasley?
Yeah, it's pretty much along the same lines. It was good to see something like that because we got those stories. So um, yeah, it was just different. So definitely a dope movie.
Yeah, I thought it was. I have to co-sign everything everybody said so far. Dope, dope, dope. Like it was something where when you look at the trailer, you're like, is it gonna really live up to expectations? And it did for me. So, and I think Lena Waithe is a beast. So, yeah.
Definitely. It was written by Lena Waithe, a black woman. The screenplay, the story by James Fry. And it stars Daniel Kaluuya, Jodie Turner-Smith, Bokeem Woodbine, like some great talent, young talent that's coming up that we're now, a year later seeing, in different places all over. They're getting roles, they're making things happen. Bokeem has been around since early 90s, been killing the game for a long time under the radar. And I thought that was dope that they was able to bring this cast together, including the music. Like they have soundtracks with Lauryn Hill, stuff like that. And it just brought this beast of a project, directed by, I believe her name was Melina Matascos. So I think this is one of her early, early projects. And I think it's dope.
Yeah.
And I believe she was a music video director too. If I'm not sure, like she was more into the music videos and then got into film.
Murdered it.
We won two
And you can tell because it kind of got like
Mhm.
the way that it shot. It kind of have like a music video kind of feel. It was a lot of imagery, a lot of. One of the things I liked, I don't know if she's one of the newer people doing this, where the commentary or the dialogue is going on, while they're just showing the imagery, or while they're just showing the faces of the actors doing the dialogue, but you don't actually see them saying it. But it's just it's continuing it, so it's like the pictures are just, but it still matches up somehow. I thought it was dope. I thought it was something I want to add to my repertoire for sure.
They definitely started, and then they started that ongoing trend throughout the movie very, very early. Like even in the beginning, while the credits are rolling, you hear them discussing what just happened. Like right after they get pulled over and everything goes down with the cop. While they're playing the opening credits, you hear them going back and forth about whose fault it is, why they're doing what it is. So that was definitely a good spin on that.
Yeah, we do see it. Like I do remember seeing films. I can't think of them off the top of my head where they do that. They kind of the dialogue kind of leads into what's happening next. So like we hear them talking and then it gets to them.
I've never seen it done this much though.
Yeah. It's never done like they did do it a lot, and I do think it's kind of a music video type trend, like type feel to it where they do have that feel, and you could tell that they took a lot of time into the visual aspect of the story. So they had different, many different stories being told, with whether it was through the imagery, through the dialogue, or through the actions of what the characters was doing. I did think that was dope, and that is a huge emphasis on the film, because I think that's one of the main reasons that made the film so beautiful as it is.
Mm-hmm. So I know you was talking about, we're seeing a lot of these people, some new faces, some old faces as well. Bokeem Woodbine, he don't age at all. I think he's a vampire, in my opinion. But and he killed his role anyway. But Jodie, I think Jodie Turner-Smith, she bodied her role.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I haven't seen her since. Like she just disappeared, even though it's kind of like a fresh movie, just came out. Like it's been a year. So some people, actors don't just do back to back to back like that. But I would have thought off of something like this that hit theaters, you know, she would be more a prominent face, especially with the roles she had, and I haven't seen nothing. I don't know.
I know she's in that new Tom Clancy film that's coming out with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
But
she's
that
in that.
is,
Okay.
I believe
Okay.
she's in that, and that is true though. But she's also, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken, she's a British actress.
Yeah, she's working
Yeah.
on a TV show.
Yeah, she's
Anne,
been
Anne Boleyn, which is Queen of England.
right. So she's been constantly working, but I know that she's like just now getting, you know, in our faces here on this aspect. And to bring that up, I do want to ask a question about, because you know both these characters are you know, British actors, and they're acting like they're from America, like they're from Ohio, wherever the film was stationed. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that? Like British actors, because I think British actors are some of the dopest actors too. Just the way they're able to, you know, disclose that accent and put a picture in front of us, and we won't even know. And we're seeing that a lot. Like that's becoming the thing. Like they're going over there, getting these actors to play these roles. So what are y'all thoughts on that?
Love it.
That I love it. I mean, I mean, when you jump out the gate and the initial actors you think about, you know, the Idris Elbas, the John Boyegas, and his name is actually, I looked it up so I can make sure we all say it right. It's Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think
Idris too. Don't forget him.
Facts. So they really be out here killing it. I ain't got no problem with it. And they doing an amazing job. So,
and what's crazy is also a thing like they've always been around, like they've always been actors like that, and it just seems like now they're more in the front. Like I forget the dude, but he was in the Mummy series, the you know, the broad black dude. I never could remember his name, but he's in the he was the bad guy in 50 Cent movie.
Yeah. Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, Get Rich or Die Trying. Like he's a British actor also.
Majestic.
He actually uses his legit accent in the first G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in
his
accent.
So yeah.
So I think that's a dope. What you think, Beastley?
Yeah, the you know, anybody that can I just think it puts another like level on their level of acting. Any person that can hide their accent, it's like they're acting double time, because they're not only acting as somebody else, but they gotta, you know, take their whole
voice,
natural, you know, tone out of all of that. So, you know, like I remember when even like, I know he's not black, but Hugh Jackman, when I found out he wasn't a regular white dude, I was just like, whoa, that's crazy right there. That blew me away, because you know that's Wolverine, but nah. But yeah, it's dope.
And I only ask because you know, I'll be posting on Facebook, and there are some people out there that has an issue with it. Like it's a problem. Like why couldn't they get, you know, an American black actor to play the American role and stuff like that? So that's why I bring it up and ask, because, you know, just watching it, if you don't know anything about their background, you would think that, you know, they're American born, you know what I'm saying, just like us, and they just got the role, you know. But as you dig deeper, you start to see that there's a little bit more to it. So what do you think, Gilz?
Yeah, I mean, I think people take that to heart a little too much. As far as, you know, you have to be from here in order to do this role, or, you know, this person, you can't play a Puerto Rican person if you're from Spain, or, you know, whatever. Like it's stupid stuff like that. Like it's like, if you can embody the role of the character, and we've been through this with Kaluuya as well, with Judas and the Black Messiah, like where he wasn't the right age for the character, but he was the right person for the character. So like as long as you can embody, you know, that essence of that character, I have no problem with it. But I do think that as far as switching accents probably helps them get into character a lot better. So now it's just not, they don't hear themselves, they hear somebody completely different. I'm not an actor, but I would imagine that's something.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I think I've seen some people use it as an argument like what you just said, but they flip it and they're like, okay, so why is whitewash such a bad thing? And they try to like jump into that end of the pool, and it's like, there's a difference with me being a black man and me going over to London and playing a British black man than me being a black man and I try to play George Washington. Like I was like, there's a dramatic difference because you go from me playing a character that's completely made up to this is an historically accurate figure, and I completely flipped what they would look like. So
they don't even like black cosplayers. Like forget about black people acting as in movies. They don't even like it at Comic-Con. Like it's bad. It's bad.
I mean,
but I'm
remember,
gonna have to challenge y'all there though, because when you watch something like Hamilton, where you got pretty much all black cast. Well, no, all black cast playing historically white figures.
They had an issue with that at first.
They did.
That's fine. I mean, I don't give a damn. What I'm saying is, as far as entertainment purposes, you know what I'm saying? Why would you not? Did y'all not enjoy that film? Or
I didn't
that whatever
What
presentation?
on my list? It's on my list.
Like this kind of goes along the lines of like what I like. Like I like to see these different things like this. But what I don't like is when they like if you get a white character and paint them up to be black. That's different than if you just say this is George Washington, but Denzel is playing George Washington, and then we see Denzel playing George Washington. I think that's a little bit different than if you have Denzel painted completely white and saying this is George Washington. I think that's where they just they don't even pay attention to that aspect of things, right? And then another thing is that if the character is created, like if we sit here and come up with a script and create a character, and that means that character can literally be anything. Like Power Rangers, they could be anybody. Thor can be anybody. Like it's a fictional character that was created. So yes, maybe the person who created had an idea, or like maybe it can look like this, blonde, blue eyes, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still a created character. So that created character can be played with and maneuvered and moved to be something different. Now, if Fred Hampton is an actual historic person, so yes, we would like to see. I don't want to see Tom Cruise play Fred Hampton, right? Like we want to see a black person play Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. So that is where I think people get misunderstood in this conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to point out when I was brought up the whole Hamilton reference. But also I wanted to also point out, but it could also be bad too, because like when you get someone like, let's say, like the one Zoe Saldana.
I knew it was Nina Simone. Yeah, I knew he was gonna go there.
That was bad. That was just bad.
But why was it bad?
But even she said it was bad because what they did was what you were talking about, and what we were pointed out about the whole. They just took it to a step too far. They painted her face.
Oh yeah, see that's
They did what are you doing? If you wanted her to play the role, just let her play the role.
Yeah.
You don't got to put the paint on.
Whether she look like her or not.
Right. But that's the thing though. That's the thing
because they made her look like she even looked like she looked like blackface in that movie.
That's the thing. We get caught up in these ideas that the person has to look like, what it is, like I personally didn't think Denzel looked like Malcolm X in the Malcolm X film that Spike Lee did. His mannerisms and stuff, he was able to act and bring that out, but he didn't look like him. And then we see like the Tupac biopic, that kid looked like Tupac.
But it would,
you know what I mean? So
he looked just like that.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's
no
just
difference.
I just think we get caught up with the ideas, like we want to get somebody that can perform, that can have a great performance. It just so happens sometimes that person don't look like whoever, and we just get caught up in that when it's not always about that. Like that doesn't have to be a top priority, is that this person has to look like whoever that they are portraying, which is another reason why I personally would stay away from like biopics and shit. I would always want to do like fictional narrative shit. Just
I would have to be really, really, really invested. Like this would have to be somebody like that I like, almost like how you look at Will. Like it would have to be something like that, like somebody I really fuck with on that level for me to want to get involved in a biopic. But spinning for it. So obviously this movie touches on a very, 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 very sensitive topic in America right now. We're talking about social injustice and inequality. So what were you guys' initial thoughts when you first heard about the movie? Like when you first heard it was coming out? Obviously we already knew what it was gonna be about, but what were you guys' first thoughts that crossed your mind? And did the film live up to that expectation that you had?
Perfect timing. I thought it was I was like, okay, because I was like, Lena Waithe had this in the pocket. She had this in the tuck, ready to go, or she was that invested where she was like, I'm gonna pump this out right away. I don't know the timing frame of how long it took her to write the film, but the timing of it was impeccable because you think when people write movies, it's not like music where you can just put it out and stream the very next day. Like you need to go through a whole getting approval process. There's a whole process as far as writing, getting it approved, getting a budget behind it, getting the right producers, the right people, so for it to come out.
Just the time to get it made is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was needed, and it was something that it was beautiful to watch too. So it was because the perspective of it felt authentic and genuine. So yeah, I loved it.
For me, I thought it was, when I first saw it, I did think it was an injustice type film, which in a way it is. I had a different perspective on it. And then as I watched the trailer a couple of times, read about it, it felt like a straight Bonnie and Clyde film, right? So I don't know this for sure. I didn't read anything on it on what like inspired her to do it, but I felt like she did a Bonnie and Clyde film, but utilized the injustice to push that Bonnie and Clyde story, right? So it's a love story, it's a romance, it's a love story, just like what Bonnie and Clyde was. But instead of having they're out there robbing Banks and breaking the crime, she kind of used these are Black characters. What is going to get Black characters on a run like this? And then she came up with the dope idea of, killing the cop, et cetera, right? But I initially think that her story, her idea was a Bonnie and Clyde romance. And then she just used the injustice to catalyze, like to kind of push that forward, if that makes sense. Okay. So I think it's more of that than the injustice, right? Because I also feel like, yes, the cop was being, a cop, but he shot him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like the cop was beating on him and then that happened. Like, you know what I mean? So,
well, because the cop shot, he was not the cop was harassing. The cop was not the first person he shot either. Yeah. So
the cop was harassing. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't one of those things where like the Michael Floyd, where he was sitting on it, you know what I'm saying? And then it came apart. What I'm saying is he said something, the cop harassed a little bit, and then it got straight into a tussle. He pulled the gun and shot him. It was just a little bit, I just feel like it was a little bit 50-50 more so than the injustice that we usually see that we've been seeing over the years. Not saying that the cop was correct for whatever it is he was doing, but I'm just saying it wasn't, she didn't take it all the way over in my sense. And that's why I think the story was more about the Bonnie and Clyde. Like, she just needed something to get them on the run other than that's original, not just, they decided to rob a bank.
Before I got something on the back end of that, but before I get into that, what you got, Beastley? What did the movie live up to, like, your expectations on the film?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think X hit it on the head pretty much. Definitely you can't just put out like I think if it was just put out as a straight up Bonnie and Clyde movie, it wouldn't have served its purpose, or especially at the time right now. So I definitely think, instead of robbing banks, make it, because for sure it's a love story without a doubt. Nobody can deny that. So, you throw that, there's social injustice in there. It's a perfect mixture. It worked perfectly. I think they did a really good job.
For myself, it definitely. When I saw the initial trailer and keep watching it over and over again, leading up to the release of the film, it definitely lived up to my expectation of what I thought it would be. Stepping back on what X said about it being more fit, I don't feel it was more so 50-50. I have to disagree, because it would have never escalated to that level had you not pulled your gun. Like, everything she was saying while she was still sitting in the car was facts. You don't have a warrant to check this trunk, but Dane Couillet's character not being aware and probably being a little scared. I mean, this movie was shot in present time, so he's probably feeling some type of, he probably feels nervous. He's afraid, he's scared. You see, he's already telling him everything he's doing, like, hey, I'm reaching into my glove box. Hey, I'm reaching for my license. So, but for him to tell you to hurry up after that, it doesn't merit you pulling your gun. So I would say from 50-50, I say that was more like a 75% spin, because there was no reason to pull your gun. He wasn't threatening you. He was standing where you told him to stand. And then he asks you to hurry up and you pull your weapon and tell him to get down. She hops out because you're clearly in the wrong and you shoot her. And she, the whole time she's like, I'm reaching for my phone. I'm reaching for my phone. So I would just have to disagree there.
You know how like when you wrong and then you just like, all right, damn, I look stupid right now. So you try to go deeper into the wrong.
Yes.
So you can
yes.
like save face, but then it just keeps going back and back. So that's kind of what ended up happening with the cop. So, and it cost him his life. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the cop, they like, especially, I'm not gonna say the cops plural. That in particular cop, that style of cop, he was gonna shoot them regardless. Somebody was getting shot or arrested that night, regardless. Because for it to escalate that fast, that was what it was. Like, I'm not saying like, because just growing up where I grew up, same type of cops in my neighborhood. So, he was either getting arrested, or getting popped, or nobody got shot where I was from, but. That style of police officer, that's old school, back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Deep South.
Facts. And you see it, and they in Ohio. Like, you see it from jump. You pull up and, okay, I can understand you saying possible DUI because he did swerve for no reason. Like, he swerved out of nowhere.
She had his phone. She had his phone.
No, I'm saying from a cop's perspective, you're just driving and then out of nowhere you just swerve. So from his perspective, okay, possible DUI. I'm with you all the way there. But
one little swerve, come on.
But I'm saying for him to swerve the way he did. Now, I'm not with that cop's prior history, what they explained from the movie. If I'm a cop and I'm sitting in a car and I see you driving straight and out of nowhere, I'm like, okay. I pull you over, and then he said I didn't pick up on him failing.
Realistically, one swerve it should not warrant a cop to.
It's not. But late at night, that's the only thing he sees. That's what they think. That's what I'm not saying that's what I agree with him in that aspect. But if you want a possible DUI, okay. But when it gets to the point of we come up and step out of your vehicle.
Yeah, man.
I step out of my vehicle. Open your trunk. Why? Now he may not know Daniel Couillet's character may not know the law. You definitely know the law. You have no reason to go in this trunk. But if he agrees to it, there's nothing you can do about it once it's open. Once you hear that pop, it's over with. So getting to all those points, and I felt like it was more driven by the cop, which is why I was disagreeing. I was like, it definitely was more so, and it like Martin said, it cost him his life. So
he was definitely profiling, like when he saw, because the swerve, yes, that's part of it. But if he sees like a Mercedes, like a nice Mercedes or something, he saw a piece of shit, a Honda Accord, so he was like, oh, okay, yeah, now I'm pulling you over. I'm gonna see, like, there's got to be something in there. Same thing when we were looking at American Skin. He was like, I saw your car. I'm looking in the neighborhood. Nah, like the time of night.
Yeah, that stuff is real, man.
That's a real thing. Like, profiling is like, I like that they highlighted that without really putting it in your face. Like, yeah, the profiling was a big part of it. And
that's easy when you're gearing towards the Black community. Like, we know what it looks like and how it feels, and you know what I'm saying. So that's easy to kind of put out there, because we're automatically going to assume that's what happened and that's what's going on or whatnot. But like I said, I like the originality that she took to get the ball rolling, because that kind of changes everything, and it's early and it's quick in the film too, like it's immediately. So she establishes the norm with going out on a date. They have that conversation, don't want to be alone. So we learn about those characters and the type of characters right there between when the film start of them in the restaurant to them sitting in the car before they got pulled over, then boom, it snaps. Now the characters is thrown into a whirlwind. They got to make decisions. We find out who's the smart one, who's, you know, the one to do it by the book, who knows the law, and you know what I'm saying. So we learn that immediately, and I think they played that very well, and it was written very well. And I think this is probably one of the better written films that I've ever watched. Well, I have watched in a long time.
It was a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm. Because I know where you're coming from, X, where you're saying, yeah, the social justice is part of it, but the big part of it is the romance and the relationship that built off of something where it was like the perfect storm of chaos where we need each other. It was almost like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing where the beginning of the film, they're not feeling each other.
They're not.
It's not. It's like
there was no second date.
Like the social justice part, yes, as important as it was, for me, it took a backseat to how this relationship developed over the entire film. Like Definitely. It was like at the beginning of the film, I'm not feeling you. He's telling her like, yo, I've talked to you however I feel like, yo, I don't even want to be here with you. Like on that type of time. And then, but you can see how, I know you can see how, just like you were saying, X, where you see who's the smart one. She's sitting there calling all the shots. Right. So I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from a Black love standpoint, where the strong Black woman does not want to take any notes from anybody else who's not going to step up and take charge. It's not until the middle of the movie that you see him take charge, and it's like, okay, now that they trust each other. But that was the most fascinating part of the movie for me. I don't know what you guys found fascinating as well.
It was fascinating for me how like the beginning of the movie caught me out the gate, because you see the immediate they both did a good job of capturing the fear that would take place in that moment. Like, we just killed a cop. What do you want to do? She's like, nah, X this. She takes his phone, throws it out the window. Even if they don't show it through the credits, you hear them talking. She throws his phone out because the first thing he wants to do is, I need to call my dad. I need to call my family, let them know what's going on. And she's the more militant. She's like, no, we can't go to no hospitals. This woman is just good. And he's concerned about everything. And she's more mainstream focused, like laser focused, like, okay, what steps do we need to take next? And his head is I wouldn't say up in the clouds, but his head is all over the place right now. And I think they did a great job of that, basing it off. I mean, you got to hear what they do. He works at Costco. He's a line guy at Costco. He works at the register. She's a lawyer. And you, in the beginning of the story, jump off the rip, they just killed my partner. And you see how passionate she is about law and justice. Like, she's like, they have no right to decide whether my client lives or dies. So that was what captured my attention from the jump.
I don't know if you guys my fault, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it was just a good love story, man. Like, the more you think about it, the more you just see it, just like you said, the growth throughout the movie, them having to learn each other, who's the brains, who's the brawn, who's the witty one, who's whatever. They had to learn that, and it just grew throughout the movie. So yeah, I mean, just shout out. So you can't stress enough how well this was written.
Go ahead.
For me, it was their chemistry, the way they was able to feed off each other and spit out those lines and make them feel genuine, and it felt like they were like they was really in the situation. It was something that was real. It was authentic, like I was saying earlier. That's what really captured me, because I think that's hard to do for two actors that's mainly on the screen all the time together from start to finish, and being able to build that chemistry and continue that chemistry throughout. And, we all know characters, they start one way and then they grow and become something else as the film go on. And they was able to do that together at the same time as the story go on. So that does credit the writing. But I think that chemistry on screen has a lot to do with, of course, with them and their ability to be able to hold that throughout the whole film and continue and grow and learn and get better and et cetera throughout the film. So that's what really, stood out to me throughout the whole film.
Real quick, I just wanted to get this question out there before we move forward. Do you think when she was writing this, when Lena Waithe was writing this, that she put this character, Queen, as of like the representation of the strong Black woman who may be getting in her way getting in her own way in regards to relationships, to where because the reason I asked that is because she would not have given him the time of day if this was the first date and they just went home about their way and nothing happened. He just dropped her off, and he's not getting a second date, period. It ain't going down. She even says that in the middle of the movie as well. But because of the circumstances, they ended up finding, a love that, that's an unbreakable bond, that, that standed the test of time, even beyond the movie. It went even beyond they passed away. So do you think that was done purposely to represent, the strong Black woman, the stereotypical strong Black woman who may get in her own way in regards to relationships?
I think so because she shows it. Like, she's a lawyer. She didn't have to say that she was a lawyer. She could have been anything. She could have did hair. It could have been anything. But I think she purposely went out her way to make sure that the representation was there, which is why he worked, a more dead-end like job. He had sneakers, older car, stayed with his family. I think she did those things on purpose to show to the difference. And like I said earlier, I think there was several different stories played out throughout the film. Like, don't judge the book. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you wouldn't have gave this dude a chance, but these situations happen, and you saw the real him, just like she wanted people to see the real her. You know what I'm saying? You saw the real him, and it found out somebody that you could share that love and that bond with. So I think she did it purposely.
Yeah,
definitely. I agree with that too. Definitely did it on purpose. Just because, like you said, she pointed out all the extremes, with her being a lawyer and him being like whatever, a cashier or whatever, So, like I said, shout out to the writing.
Yeah, definitely. I would have to agree. When I used to take drama, they used to have us like set up a scene real quick, and they did it. She kind of played it in a movie format. The beginning, it tells you everything about the character. The beginning of the movie, right there in the diner, told us everything you do, and not, without just straightforward saying it. I work at Costco. Oh well, she in my line every week. I always help her with the Costco card. Name drop. Then you flip it over to her. Had a long week. My client got executed. I think she did that very, very, very purposefully, and it worked. Like I was, like I said, it was dope. What do y'all think of? What do y'all think of? Because obviously, I feel like everyone has their opinion based on this movie, and I feel like that's what happened to me when I very first watched it. But going back and watching it over again, you slowly start to realize, like, I've never been in that situation. I don't know what I would have done. So, what do y'all think of their first decision? First of all, to not call their family. And
I'm so glad you're asking this question. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So that was the question. What do y'all think of their decision not to immediately go to the hospital, get her leg checked out, and her to throw their phones out and not call their family?
Me personally, I will say I thought it was a dope decision. Great writing once again. But for me personally, like, that's not something I would have thought of because I don't live that life. And it showed. I also liked it because it showed, like, for those of us that don't live that life, me included, that here's what could happen if you don't live that life. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't live that life, but she knew what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and was ready to go. So
you don't live the life, but she see it every day, and she know the law, right? Like, so she sees it every day coming through a courtroom. So she and she probably sitting there telling her clients, like, this is what you're supposed to say.
Yes. So I think there was a lot of situations in there where, you're going to look at this movie, you're going to look at it and be like, all right, how would I have reacted in this situation? I think that's one of the ones where genius on her end, because she sees that every day. And I'm looking at it for me, just from my experiences a long time ago.
Who sees it every day? Oh, her being a
Yeah,
lawyer.
her being a lawyer.
Okay.
She's
My fault.
involved in the system. But a long time ago, I was studying, medical field to be like an EMT. So I know for a fact if it's a bullet wound, they have to report it, no matter no ifs, ands, or buts. So she's knowing that is like, okay, I'm not gonna let the system get any chance to get a hold of us. We have a short limited window where we have a gap where we can pull ahead and get out like a head start. And so throw away the phones, don't go to the hospital. They wouldn't even drive to the hospital to drive off your man's with the hurt leg. He was like, nah. So yeah, I thought it was genius.
I agree. I think it was genius, but I think it's common for her. Like I think lawyers have that mentality because they see it every day. They tell their clients, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. I think he was realistic because I think that's 90% of the people in those situations on why 90% of those people usually get caught. It's because they do the things like what he do. I'm worried about family. I'm worried about this. I got to do this. I got to do that. So, and it's just some things like if you're not, indulged in that lifestyle, it's just not going to come up. So I like that she had that contrast of him and her where like, yo, you can't do that because you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. You just killed a cop. Like it's over. There's no more family either way you look at this. And you need to go ahead and accept that now so we can go ahead and not be in a jail cell. Because I think realistically, she would have been straight. I think she would have got nothing. It would have just been him. So, and I thought that was a dope aspect to add into it also, that she decided to take that route. Like, yo, I'm in this with you. Even though I don't know you, there wouldn't have been a second date, but we're in this together. So we're going to do this together. Because really, she could have just said, nah, like we waiting for the cop and it's over, Because she didn't, I mean, what would she have really gotten in that situation?
She's black though. She was still black at the end of the day.
So. Yeah, but what's the worst that she didn't pull the trigger?
I mean,
I mean, she didn't cause the trigger to really.
She gets disbarred. I don't know.
I mean, at the same time though, like thinking from the perspective that Gilz is coming from, like, yo, she black. Like we just seen a man last year kneel on somebody's neck for 12, and now they're still deciding whether or not he need to go to jail.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, that's like that's. I'm not saying.
But I'm saying like the blatant, like even on his body cam, you see she didn't do anything. She really didn't do anything wrong besides outside of getting out of the car, which I mean, you saw your friend about to be killed. So why wouldn't you get out of the car? So, but with that aspect of being black with the justice system, I would like to think she wouldn't have got nothing, but at the same time, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, but that's different though. That's different.
Just to connect to that point, you're saying, Banks. I gotta agree with you because I see what you're saying, X. But we rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. But you don't have to do much to catch one. So she was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's not what I'm saying.
But I'm saying she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. A cop got killed, not shot, killed. If any cops catch them, it's on site. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo, what y'all talking about when they got caught? Yes, when they got caught, they was going to get killed because the narrative
I'm talking about the beginning.
I'm talking about going through the justice system. Period.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, if they would have said, "Nah, we're not going to run. We're going to stay here and we're going to wait for the cops," right? What I'm saying is, the odds of her really getting in trouble is a lot slimmer, which is why I'm saying the decision that she made to go forward and run was dope for their relationship. Obviously, they had to do it for the movie to go forward, right? They had to do that.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, if she would have stayed and just waited, and just waited, she probably wouldn't have been charged like he would have been charged because she didn't do anything, and that's on the camera. She didn't do anything on his body cam and in the car cam. Everything was him, is what I'm saying, which is why I'm saying that it was a dope idea that she said, like, nah, because she knew that. She had to know that. She knew all of these other things where she stood in a situation at that very moment, is what I'm saying. And the comparison with the cops going to jail is completely different than her situation.
I'm not saying I wasn't saying that to directly compare them going to jail. I'm just saying just because it was on camera, like that's not held up in court at all. Like there was no reason.
No, that's what I'm saying.
A lot of times things being caught on camera Oh
what
well,
you're doing though. What
maybe
you're
I
doing
didn't. Maybe I didn't convey it better.
Seeing me not a cop on camera, I'm going to jail every time. We've seen that every time. But seeing a cop on camera not go to jail is different. She's not a cop. She's a regular civilian who happens to be a lawyer who's on camera not doing anything wrong on the camera is what I'm saying. So, and we've seen that before where they don't go to jail. Now we're not saying, and she's not a cop, so she's not going to get the same cop treatment. And I think by comparing that is you can't compare it because they're in two different positions. That is what I'm saying. So yes, when we see cops do shit on camera and not go to jail all the time, but there's never been a case where a person who's not a cop committed the crime and didn't go to jail for it. Does that make sense?
I get what you're not getting what I'm saying, but I that's something we can I'll boil it down to I use the cop situation as to on camera, George Floyd, outside of anything else he did, he didn't resist arrest. He got slammed like there was he did, and this black man was doing that. He didn't do anything wrong to end up in that situation, and people found it like the cause just. Like they were like, okay, and it was on camera. Like he didn't do anything criminal to deserve what he got. And I'm saying with being black in that situation, it's always a wild card. Now, I don't think she would have got a severe punishment as Daniel Kaluuya's character, but to be like, she probably doesn't do any time. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
She's an accomplice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's not what I said. I said she probably, if she would have stopped and thought about her situation right then and there, she probably would have been better off. She's not an accomplice right there and then. She becomes an accomplice when she says, "Let's get in a car and run." That's when she becomes an accomplice. When he shoots her, if she stops and say, "Call the cops, we're done, we're not going nowhere, I'm staying here," she's no longer accomplice, is what I'm saying. Right? So she becomes an accomplice when she gets in the car.
Whose justice system? Yours? Because
come on, son. Okay, let's move on.
You gotta be real. You gotta be real.
Let's move on. Because we've seen situations and we're seeing situations where two people do something or one person do something and the other person doesn't really get charged for it because they've been proven that they wasn't a part of it. It's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that in that situation right there in that moment, she had a good argument to get herself away from it, is what I'm saying, which makes the idea of her getting in the car and moving forward with that more dope is my whole point that I
agree with you. It was dope.
I agree with you.
And up to a point, but the only thing I'm saying is that her knowing of the law system so well knows that, damn, I don't really have a fight here. Let's be out.
Like there's still even with me not doing anything, and because she didn't do anything wrong, there's still a chance this shit could get spent back on me. That's what I'm saying. Now her decision was still very valuable. I dig that. But
y'all don't think that it's more that she was more like, all right, yeah, I'm a lawyer, I might be all right, whatever, or let me go with this guy because if I don't, this guy's dead.
Yeah,
which is what I'm trying to say. Because at the beginning of the film, she talks about that. She talks about that.
They got the death penalty.
She talks about that at the beginning of the film. Her client, her black male client, didn't deserve that and got it. And that's what I'm saying. That's what makes her decision of doing that even more dope.
I feel like we're saying the same thing. I'm gonna just put it this way. I agree with you. I just don't think she's thinking, yeah, I'm cool, but this dude, that's it. He's on his own. I don't think that was any part.
No, she's not thinking that's why she went with him.
Right. But everybody got their 2 cents out on this. Well, because I know that since we're at the beginning of the movie that we're talking about this, and I know we just talked about what you would do in situations like that. Was anybody getting really annoyed with Daniel Kaluuya's character, Slim's character, as far as with the mistakes he was making in the beginning of the movie?
That's my biggest
because it was getting ridiculous.
That's my biggest fault with the movie.
No,
I was like y'all
running out of gas twice, giving the homeboy the gun, trying to go to your to somebody
got one of these type of
phone.
No.
Like yo,
he
was
the
going.
average person.
I mean, I don't know because I don't know what my friends were doing in that situation.
He is.
I don't know.
He is.
I say I don't know. He was getting on my
us,
nerves
bro.
though, but I don't know.
He is
Of course,
us,
he
bro.
gets on your nerves. You could think about the.
I'm
friend that you
agreeing
have
with.
on
I'm
your
agreeing
nerves,
with you.
yeah?
I'm the one who
Yeah.
originally said I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation, and
He
that's
is
what I
us.
thought of it. But at the time I was watching it, I was like, "Come on, man."
That, but that's why I didn't
Because
get
when you're
annoyed.
watching from somebody else's, from your perspective, and you seeing somebody else do it, you see everything they need to do. So that's why I said after my first watch, I went back and was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. So
But that's why
I'm
I
agreeing
didn't.
with y'all.
But that's why I didn't get. That's why I wasn't annoyed at his movements because
X, you can't shake
it's
your head
realistic.
completely. You can't
It's
shake your head
realistic.
completely. Giving homeboy the gun is ridiculous.
Now, that was the one that was the one that was a
have
little
to agree
long
to
for me.
that.
I don't
We
think.
have to
I
agree
don't
to
think. I don't think it was ridiculous because. I don't think it was ridiculous because he's taking a chance. You might not like the chance that he's taking, but he's taking a chance, and you yourself would have taken chances. Maybe not that chance, but you would have taken a chance. I personally thought dropping the dude who hurt himself off at the hospital was a bad chance. Like, why would you do that? That's a terrible chance. But that's a chance that they took and did it. This is what I'm saying.
No problem with that one. No problem with that one. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're just nitpicking at the different chances that he took. I'm stepping back and saying that all of this shit is a risk and all of this shit is a chance. So it might have been a different opportunity or a different thing that took it and it went bad. Like, I thought it might not have been the best idea to
X,
go.
you're not
decide
taking
to go
that chance,
dance.
bro. You're
I
not.
don't think
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
A loaded gun.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm telling
If
you
anything,
right now,
I might gun butt him, or I might go on to just open the register, cut it out.
That's not what
something.
He's not that
even if I'm not a killer.
You're not that guy. You're not gun butting nobody, bro.
Or just go.
Why is that even
I have
an
a loaded gun.
So say that. That's what I said. Gilz might not have taken that chance, but that doesn't mean that you would not have taken chances. You might have taken.
That's not even a chance. That's just stupidity. A loaded gun.
Okay,
I'm on the run.
Is that not what I'm
loaded
saying, bro?
guns. And,
is that not what I'm saying, bro?
I'm just saying.
He took that chance because that's the type of person that he is. But if you take a step back and say chances, you can't get mad at him. You can't get mad at him because he's taking a chance that you wouldn't have taken, but you would have taken the other chances. Chances are chances, risk are risk. Either one of those risks that they took could have got them caught up.
He was bugging.
The last risk that they took got them caught up. They just ran out of luck.
I'm glad he got his stuff together after the executive decision, but he was bugging in the beginning of the movie. That running out of gas twice.
Yes, bro, that happens.
Son,
you think that don't happen? That
this
happens,
is,
bro.
Bro.
You're not thinking of that. The first thing he wanted to do was use his phone and call his dad. You think he's thinking about putting gas in his car, bro?
He's scared.
He just killed a cop. You thinking about putting gas in your car, bro? Like, we gotta get rid of this movie. Was supposed to have a realistic feel and an authenticity.
I'm not mad at the movie at all.
From that idea that these people who've never done this before get in these situations and know everything to do.
No, and I'm not saying that. And I don't want you to paint that picture.
You would have done it, bro.
Narrative either. Don't paint that narrative either. I'm not saying that.
Okay, here's a perfect example. Before you go,
let me get it off. All praises due to leave Lena Waithe. I'm not saying and she did anything wrong with the script or with that character. I'm just speaking directly at that character itself, not even Daniel Kaluuya, the actual character in the story. Why are you making stupid risks like handing the gun? If nothing else, the gun was ridiculous to me.
Yo, that guy,
and I know it helped the movie. Whatever. But I'm just saying it was not. It doesn't make.
I get what y'all saying. Look, I get what y'all saying, but I think it's also unrealistic to tell a fan, "No, you can't be annoyed with that." I mean, because at the end of the day,
what I said.
No, but I'm saying you telling him to stop. Like I look at that choice, and like I told you, the first time I watched it, I was like, "What the fuck?" Then when I went back, looked at it from a different perspective, I was like, you know what? I don't know. To me, it was still stupid, but I don't know. Like I don't know.
What I'm trying to say is you have to step back and see. You can't nitpick like that, is what I'm saying. Like, for my example was, Gilz, how many times did we say we're gonna get up and go film some shit and we use the same film and shit and we forget something? Battery, the charger, whatever, we forget something. We do this every day and we still forget something. So yes, these characters who've never been in these situations are going to do things. I thought stopping the ride on a horse was a bad chance. helping that dude to go drop off was a bad chance. I
wasn't
wouldn't even
mad at
stop
that
for
one.
food, my nigga. I would have stopped in food in Mexico. That's when I would have stopped for food, bro. I wouldn't have stopped to get the Cadillac fixed. I thought all of those was bad chances and chances that they shouldn't have taken. But those characters have a unique sense of who they are, and these are the risks that they would take. You might not have taken those risks if you was in that situation, but you would have taken stupid risks too. Equally stupid risks is what I'm. That's all I'm saying.
Especially
that's all
being
I'm saying.
scared.
I'm just not handing him the gun.
Because you got to remember, they scared.
But you also got a dude who don't deal with guns. He don't deal with guns. He don't know that world. None of that.
Because even when
he's not going in there saying, "Give me the gas," smack him in his face, "Give me the gas." No, he's gonna do. He's gonna try to do it the least issue possible. Like he don't want no type of nothing with this dude. So
I
that's
agree
what he did.
Because when he said, "Yo, man, I'll kill you," and he was like, he started looking away. Like, come on, that wasn't believable at all.
And I think they
really said you were gun.
My homeboy was like, "You're not a killer." So I'm like, give me his gun.
You really said you were gun, but this man. Like,
no, I'm saying, any other thing would have worked in that situation. Hand him the gun. He picked out of 10 things that you could have done correctly in that situation. He picked the one thing that you could.
Okay, so what he should have done?
Scared though, yo.
What he should have done, Gilz? Gilz, what would you have done? What would you have done, Gilz?
He works at
walked
Costco,
around to the register like, "Hey, bro, all right, whatever, move aside, step aside."
But that's defeating the purpose though, because he was not trying to have a confrontation past the gun. Give me gas.
You have no money and you have no gas. So first, it's just bad decision on top of bad decision. So first, you forgot to stop for gas on the way to the road. And you have, I get it. I get it.
I gotta stop this. I gotta stop this. Yo, I gotta stop it. Because I don't even know why you surprised at this point for him giving him the gun when you just said it. He's been making bad decisions on top of bad decisions.
What happened in the middle of the movie? All of a sudden he turns into Einstein. He's like, boom,
whatever, man. It's called a character arc. It's called a character arc. Can we move on?
Thank you.
Character development, G.
Thank
you. Can we move on?
Whatever.
Can we move on?
In school, we should know this.
Can we move on?
What we're
here for.
Can we move on?
I
just don't want to hear about the gun being given to him. I don't want to hear about that no more.
Okay.
All right. It was a bad.
Okay.
Whatever.
They always bad decisions.
God.
So from that point, the uncle, Bokeem Woodbine.
Go.
What did y'all think about his character?
Best character in the film.
I said the same thing.
He was the best character in the whole film.
That might.
It's hard to argue against that.
Man, stole the show, bro.
Yeah, no, he stole every scene he was in.
He dominated the screen. Everything he got on it. His temper tantrums was great. He sound like a New Orleans nigga. Like everything was on point.
Mine is smacking the movie girl. So I was like, damn.
He bodied that. He bodied.
I was like, oh.
I knew, and what's funny is I knew he bodied the role when he closed the door and he said, "You know I'm gonna have to kill that nigga, right?" Like I knew, like that. Just like he bodied that role. Like it was. Yeah, it felt like nothing he did was really in the script.
He low key ain't missed though. Like if y'all look over his career, he ain't missed.
Yeah, he hasn't missed at all.
He hit every time.
Even when he was
in fucking what's the shit Colin Farrell redid? Total Recall. Bokeem Woodbine is he's certified out here. He needs his respect.
He literally bodies.
Yo, y'all don't think that's low key like Samuel Jackson light, like diet Samuel L. Jackson?
Somebody said that's
like half the calories.
No,
they said that.
No.
Somebody said it's evil Dave Chappelle, bro.
Yeah, but he might have. He's definitely one of the most talented actors that we've seen on screen. He just doesn't.
He gets typecast. He
does every role. He don't care. He just in there.
I wouldn't even say. I just think that when his come up was in a time where the industry wanted a certain look, and he doesn't have that look. Like he's not the GQ, yeah, like he's not that. And I think there was a time where you either had to be like a bad boy like Tupac, or you was this sex symbol like the Denzel Washingtons, the Will Smiths, like that type. And I think he just fell in that middle ground. And people
been bald his whole life. He was gonna get.
And then I think now we search for actors more on their talent than their actual look. So I think he gets a little bit more shine, a little bit more light and stuff like that.
Facts.
And he's not like the action star. He's not like the Wesley Snipes. You know what I'm saying? He's the, you want me to body this role, I'm gonna body this role with my talent as acting. So
Whatever it is. Yep.
I wanted to touch on the after Daniel Kaluuya's after his series of bad decisions, of his series of misfortunate events, he got to the point to where he was thinking more soundly and thinking more clear. What do y'all? I wanted to touch on that because character development is key in every movie. So what do y'all feel like led him to that point? I personally believe that too. I personally believe he got to that point because he literally put himself in like a, you know what, I'm here. I gotta, we gotta execute this plan. We gotta get to where we need to be. And it's no point in me. Like, I think all of his fear necessarily dropped off because him being scared wasn't going to get him out of the situation he in. But what did y'all think?
You got to expound on that.
Yes, please expound on
I think his once the adrenaline.
Whoa, step away.
Once the adrenaline, y'all about to take it completely left.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
It's a real point.
Come on.
No, cut it out, man. I'm a married man out here. Cut it out.
Don't do that.
I was gonna say,
don't do that.
I
That's
said
motivation. What do you mean? That's
as
a real
word.
thing.
Anyway, the explanation is he's been with a woman, a strong, black, powerful woman, and he's been seeing her move, hearing her talk to him. It's after a while it just clicks. Like you just, oh, all right, this is what you're talking about. And at some point, you just get in gear. Either you do or you don't. If he didn't, my man's either gonna die or go to jail. Nice. So I don't know if he had a dream that night or you know what, but it just clicks. It's not like nothing that she said that night or that day that he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Now I got to start doing right. It just I think it just clicked with him.
I would say, especially when you look from the point of like,
Cheeks.
damn, when it's coming from that, damn, this probably gonna be the only person because we're gonna be on the run for the rest of our life. This is gonna be the person I'm with for the rest of my life. Like when you look at it from that, I can see what you're saying. What you think, Gilz?
I think the moment that he decided to boss up is the moment that she decided to be, she can be vulnerable with this guy. And then in that moment of trust is where the relationship took off. Because actually they're in a relationship once he fires the shot. Boom. If you take a bullet for me and I kill somebody for you, I don't care if we don't like each other. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend. We're wifey. You are wife. We are wifey and hubby. That's it. The relationship has immediately started from that point. It has started. It started from that point. Like we are together. I don't care what you say, even if I don't like you. So from that point, she's not feeling him because he's you know, your stereotypical got head in the clouds. Granted, he just killed somebody and he didn't want to do that. So I understand where he might not have been in the right mind frame. But once he made that executive decision, and then she said, you know, I'm scared. And he looked her in the eyes and said, no, I'll be brave enough for the both of us. That's when the relationship took off. That's when, you know, she decided I can trust this guy. And that's the way I looked at it. I don't know.
What you got, X?
I think it was a step. It was just the step right before that, like right before he did that, when he laid down and he contemplated that he should be dead. At that moment, I think that's when it clicked. When the adrenaline calmed down, they finally got a moment to think. Right, like he finally got a moment to actually think. She got a moment to think. He saw the differences that they had to make, cut their hair, change their clothes. They're in a whole new area, a whole new town. Like all of that started to really resonate with him in his head. And then he starts to think about what he actually did. And then that's when he acts like, I should be dead right now. And then at that moment and her response, that's when I think he changed. Like they changed in a point where they got on the same page. Like we have an idea, like, because before that, it was all guessing. They both was guessing. She was better at it because she seen it before, but they both was guessing like what they should do, where they should go, et cetera, et cetera. And I think once they cut their hair, he laid down and he started questioning his existence. I think that's when it finally clicked for them.
Word.
So like just that one scene before.
Because my sister keeps telling me, you know, like, yo, anytime somebody cut their hair or like a woman cut their hair, they're going through something. And it felt like there was like a change in the movie. It was like a shift in the movie when the haircuts happened. I don't know. It was kind of a weird kind of I don't know. That's what I just noticed.
I mean, I feel like it falls more into it's just like X said. That was the first time they got to have like a moment of clarity. Like you got to, everything else before that is run. And like any person on planet Earth, you see everything much clearer. Hindsight is 2020 every time. So I feel like that more so played into it than anything. Like that was really that first moment of clarity where he got to actually think about something besides go. So
Side note, this is probably unrelated to anything. Just real quick, the sheriff didn't notice what a bullet wound looked like. You didn't. The sheriff that they stole the car from, he didn't know that was a bullet wound, or he didn't see it.
Well, okay, so I think in that situation he knew, but in that position you can't. Like, I think he was playing his cards. Like, I think he was trying to play his cards because remember he ain't know nothing about what happened until he heard on the radio. But I think he was just playing his cards. Like, he knew something was up, but he wasn't in a position to really get them riled up because you don't know. Like, you could say that's a bullet wound. You from here, you from there. I know this, I know that, and they might say, it's over with. Which is why he was saying, I have a kid. We could do this, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, yeah, I didn't.
I think he was just playing his cards.
I was just confused. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I think he was just playing his cards, just trying to like stay ahead of the situation and not get too deep in that situation, or whatever. I think he was just, he was just playing his cards.
Other thing, the money situation at the very start of the road trip or whatever, you can't hit up an ATM first because he took her out of date.
That's gonna tell them where.
But I'm out of there after that.
But you're telling them on the line of where you're going.
Like,
so you're saying, like, if you're in Ohio, you could go up north, you can go to the west, you can go, anywhere. Go to ATM. Yeah, they're in Ohio, but now they hit they didn't think about it then. Anywhere you hit the ATM, they're gonna find a paper trail. So if you in Ohio and you hit the ATM in New Orleans, then they're gonna say, oh, they're here. This is where they can go from here. They can start shutting things down. They can get ahead of you. Is what I think. Why? But I also felt like they didn't need to. I mean, I think that was like, if it wasn't needed. It wasn't added. They went to him to get the money. I think and then they left their stuff in the car too. If I remember correctly, in their actual car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They left like their IDs and everything
and all that.
When it gets to the point of this is while they're waiting on the car to get fixed, and you remember that's when the infamous picture gets taken. What did y'all think of what message did y'all take from how basically everyone black across the country was kind of like we're rooting for you? Like, I mean, you had your people who was like, they need to turn themselves in, they wrong, and they kind of showed every demographic of what someone would think of. What did y'all think of that particular part of the movie?
Black Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay, go ahead.
The whole picture, straight Black Bonnie and Clyde.
I feel like that was one of those moments that really captured that sentiment, the Black Bonnie and Clyde, because like X said, no, they weren't robbing banks, they weren't, but these are two lovers in a sense on the run from the law. So yeah, I would say I got more so of I always related it to how all of us would think of it. Like, if that really happened, like what like would that really happen? Would people really be behind them, or whatever the case may be? What you think, Beastley?
I liked how they showed that because you don't really ever get to see like people's reactions. Like, you see in somebody, like, let's say we saw this on a news broadcast, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't know how people in Ohio felt, or people in Arizona or whatever. We wouldn't be able to see that reaction. So like, to see it in a movie and for them to show how people reacted to them when they finally did see them in the streets, and that they were rooting for them, because, I could say that if I saw this on a news, if this was a real story and I saw this, I would probably be rooting for them. So for them to show that, there are people out there rooting for them, that was pretty cool to see. So I liked how they did that. Once again, great writing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the black community was like an uncredited character in the movie, because when you go, even right before they get to the mechanic, when they go down to the bar with the live music, it's a safe haven. It's just black people all around, just drinking, just chilling, and they know what the deal is, and they don't care. They're like, whatever, you good here. I might have stayed there for another day or two. I'm not going front with you. But anyway, and when, especially when you get down to the kid, the kid who went to getting popped, but he's sitting there. He was like, man, you don't know how much we think of you. You know what I mean? You guys are like celebrities to us, as far as everything that you've done and everything that you're going through. You know what I mean? And then you have the protest and the riots and things like that. I mean, even when you go from there, I don't want to go too far ahead, but when you go from there to the end of the movie where that picture has now become a thing now, it's with synonymous with the revolution, with the struggle. I think that's the black community embraced them. And I like that part, except for one dude, but we're not going to talk about him. So.
You always got to have the one.
Yeah. Uncle Tom. Man.
Let's talk about it moving forward. We about
we about there.
So what was y'all? Because we talked about the different risks that they've taken. I mean, whoever they told or whoever they went that helped them was taking a risk, from the uncle's friends, etc. Then it comes down to they almost making it. They're about to get up out of there, and then they get betrayed. I don't know if it's really betrayed, but they get betrayed by that one that we was just talking about. What was your thoughts on that?
I think homeboy who's actually in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I forgot his name, Flea. But he's him and his wife and hiding him out in the home. I know this meme is tired and it's been overused, but he's definitely invited to the cookout. I mean, he has to be at this point, because for him to put his family at risk and put everybody at risk inside of his household for somebody I don't even know. I mean, and I've never been, in the military, but is that like that kind of bond is that serious where no matter what, like if you family of my man's, I'll take you in, whatever, that kind of thing? I mean, I know y'all could speak to that.
It definitely, it can be. For example, rest in peace to Angel Connor. One of me and his friends from AIT, like a lot of us, like really kind of embraced her mother when she got killed last year. So yeah, it can be like that. It like you grow those bonds. You go through tough times that you're not familiar with people, and y'all and basic training, they kind of teach y'all to work together to get to a common goal. So you have your bonds with people. You'll hear a lot of military people say, I don't miss the military, but I miss my friends, and that's definitely very grateful. I met X. I'm very grateful I met a lot of our friends. So yeah. It's definitely real.
I keep telling y'all that military shit have you doing shit that you wouldn't normally do with people that you wouldn't normally have met. So, you learn people and you get acquainted with people to a level where you won't have that with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself automatically gives you a bond that you would never have with any other friend. So there's things that I've done with them, with some random person, that I probably wouldn't have even done with my own siblings, but I've been forced to do it. So I'm forced to trust this person. That person is forced to trust me, and then you just carry it. You just carry it on for the rest of your life. So that's definite. That what they did for him is definite. Like that's always, I think that's always with the military, because and then even so in those times, like in Vietnam War and those other wars where it was even more intimate, even more like you'll probably die for them people, because why wouldn't you do it when you come back home when you was already doing it, overseas? And on top of in some situations, this person, like me and Banks go deploy, this might be the only person I know here. This might be the only person I know that speak English here. You know what I'm saying? So you automatically get attached by the hip. Like, just a quick story, like my whole boy, Carlos, I went to basic with. And then we went to different AITs. And then when we went to Fort Riley, we was in the same barracks, but he was in like 101 and I was in 103. And he hit me up on Facebook like, yo, where did you go? I was like, oh, I'm at Fort Riley. He said, oh, I'm at Fort Riley. I was like, where, what unit? He's like, oh, I'm up on the hill or whatever. It's like, oh, where I'm on the hill too? Like, what barracks you in? Oh, like, we in these barracks. It's like, word. So I stepped out my room and looked around. He stepped out of my room and looked around. He was right there. And I've only know this dude from basic training, right? Like I've never seen him any point from basic training, but he has become my best friend from that point on into probably the rest of our life. And I've only known him for 2-3 months. You know what I'm saying? So like, but we just did things in the dirt, getting mad at, you know what I'm saying? Like you just don't do it anybody else, and it just automatically builds that bond. So, you know, just a side story.
Yeah, that's me.
I mean, but I'm just amazed that even, you know, you going through all that and being like, yeah, I'm a high job in my house. Who just has like a secret compartment in the home, just chilling, just ready, just waiting? I mean,
bro, you got to think about probably
what are you talking about right now?
Yo, that was crazy.
You got to think about what he had, like what they said their background was. He said you said he was in the war. You said they were in the war together. So you got to think about how old they are and when they would have got out the war. They probably would have been in the military together in the late 90s, early 2000s. What happened in the early 2000s? 9/11. Boom. Like that like a lot of shit, and most likely they probably played it as a combat unit, so they done probably seen some shit together.
You've seen dead presidents. You've seen dead presidents.
Facts.
Like Gilz, it seems like when you watch this movie, you put your blinders on when it comes to like how people act. Like I don't know.
Like the way they react is like so. It's just crazy.
No. When I watch movies, my suspension of disbelief is fully on. I'm locked in. I'm tuned. As soon as the movie comes, I have questions. Like, all right.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When he said he had all those compartments, I was like, yeah, that sounds. It's that PTSD in him. Like it's automatically. He probably never used. He probably never used those compartments ever. But just having them soothes his PTSD. So that's what I think. And it was normal. Like it was just like, oh, all right, that makes sense. That's how I took it when I said, yeah, that makes sense.
Like I literally got a like the extremes you'll go to off that shit. I literally got a homeboy. He cannot see random trash in the street. Like this man will literally drive IEDs, bro. He literally can't see random. Like he knows full well I'm in America. The likelihood of that happening is zero, like 1 in a million. But if he sees trash in the street, he will wait. He'll stop or find another route. Like we've literally been late because he was driving a certain way. We're on the road. Most of these military post roads are old, so he just busted U and went the long way. And I'm like, bro, and he like, bro, nah, it was a McDonald's bag, or it looked like a McDonald's bag. It was a food bag in the street.
You see it all the time, Gilz. Like you see it all the time and probably don't even realize it. Like I know this one dude. Every time the helicopter went over, he got scared and went and walked inside. Like it was like natural reaction to some of the stuff that you do. And that's just the military stuff. Like everybody has PTSD, some sort of PTSD.
To some extent.
Yeah, to some extent, everybody has it. Like you walk by your mom's and you just like, you do that phantom flinch because you think she's going to hit you. That's PTSD. Like that's just another version or another viewpoint of PTSD.
But people hear PTSD and they give it this like, they think the worst shit possible. Like PTSD could be, I stubbed my toe on this bed. So now every time I walk around the bed, I'm super cautious about how close I walk to the edge. Like it's just small. It can be small things.
That's what it boils down to. Like when we was in Africa and they be having those goats, they said they had the goat blow up one time and it was a wrap. Nobody walked near goats. Nobody looked at the goats. Like and in Africa they had goats like stray cats. Like they would just walk around like stray cats, and you won't walk by the goats. They wouldn't go into like their little huts. Like they had huts that they made out of like old garbage or whatever. Wouldn't walk by and couldn't do none of that. And it's just like a natural reaction to seeing it one time, hearing about it, whatever the case may be. And it's just like, and that's what it comes from. But everybody, we all have it in some shape or form. It's just more associated with the military and bombs and, you know, gunfire and stuff like that. But yeah, as soon as he said I got compartments and he showed the compartment, I was like, yeah, that's
Beastley, I don't want to make it seem like I didn't believe that's what he would do. I was just amazed because I don't know nobody like that. I don't know anybody that just got that just ready in the tuck, ready to go.
Here's another story. My pops, he grew up in Brooklyn, right? He grew up in Brownsville, and his pops used to keep a machete in the crib. My pops has like 6 machetes around the crib in different hiding spots. I kid you not, son. Go to the house and ask where his machete at. He'll tell you. 6 different. When I was in high school, I think I was in 9th grade, and a Mexican kid or dude, he got jumped by whatever gang was down the street. He got jumped. He ran, broke the window out of my pop's car, and slept in the car. Like he slept in the car hiding, right? My pops came out and saw him. He ran in the house, got the machete, and was chasing this nigga down the street, hitting him with the machete for no reason. He ain't know why. He just knew that he was in
turning this out where he's flat.
So now in the house now in Florida, my pops was retired. He's 50-something years old. He hasn't been in that life for years, right? He still has machetes everywhere he hangs out. He got his own little chair. He got one that he could grab from under the chair. Like he just got them all over the house, and that's PTSD.
Facts. Facts. You dead ass.
That's just what that is. Like it happened to him once. Like something happened. Somebody broke in the house. He wasn't prepared one time, and then ever since then, he said that would never happen again. And now he's constantly always prepared, no matter what. He's prepared.
Facts.
He can't even do half the shit because he got a bad back, but he's always prepared just in case.
He said, "I ain't going out like no chump."
That's PTSD.
But we were actually touching on the end of the movie. We were touching on
the black man.
Set him up. So I don't remember. Did either one of us even give our take on it?
Yeah,
or did we jump? Okay. Beastley, shit. You ain't said that in a minute. What's up? What you think about the dude who backstabbed him in the end, or that part of the movie?
Did you see it coming? Did you think that was gonna happen?
What did you think?
Was you surprised? You know.
Did I see it coming? Yes and no. Because it's like with these type of movies, like something bad has to happen to them in the end. Yeah. They can't make it. As much as you want to see it, they can't make it. Either they're gonna die or they're gonna get arrested. Somebody gonna snitch on them. Did I think that guy was Did I think that guy was gonna do it? No, but once I realized it was him, I wasn't surprised at all. Right, like it was like, oh yeah, of course, he's supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. Right. But yeah, of course, like I said, would I like them to see to get away? That's what I would like to see, but there's no way they could have got out of that one. So, I will say, I am glad they didn't kill him. Like they didn't just get blasted, like just right there, just bow, just.
Mm-hmm. You like the dramatics of how they died at them?
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't do that route.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to see them get away.
Kind of. I think we all did.
I wanted to see. You know what I really wanted to see? I wanted to see them get in the plane and they shoot the plane down and then they crash in the water and we don't know what happened to them.
And
like we assume they drowned, but we don't know.
You're trying to do the
next scene they're in the Cuba, right?
Oh,
that's what I really. That's what I really want to see.
Still mad at Tyrese for that, son. Still mad at Tyrese for that. You just swam to Mexico. Get the heck out of here. Anyway, no.
He just swam.
Because I love the idea.
Sea waist deep, right?
Yeah.
With making good in Tyrese. Come on.
He didn't swim to Mexico, bro.
He didn't swim to Mexico.
He just got away.
How did he
swam away and then found a way to get
away. The cops said, "I'm Mexico, yo." I got him. I don't know. Hey,
he had a speedboat waiting.
Yo, son, he got his way.
Forget that movie. But
that's what I wanted to see.
I'm with you. I was sitting there. I was blinded by hope because I knew for a fact they're not getting played.
Yeah.
But the closer we got to the end of the movie, I'm like, there's a chance.
They might make it.
And I'm like, oh shit. Like when I saw the plane, I got hyped. I said, woo,
I just thought it would have been so much more satisfying to see that, like to see them get in a plane, take off, and then they shoot the plane down and it crash in the water, and then we just don't know what happened. Like I just felt like it would have been a little bit more satisfying because for us, the reality of is they're gonna get shot by the cops. Like that's the reality. So I felt like in a way they had to do that if they wanted to keep that authentic feel to it. But I just wanted to see them just disappear in a way, like because they.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was done.
I thought me personally, I was like, I think I had the same feeling everybody else did. Like I seen the plane, I was like, yo, I thought Homeboy was gonna betray him. But like immediately when he was talking about his homeboy before they even got to the white dude's house, when I saw him check his wife, like kind of like cause she didn't want him there. When I saw him check, I was like, oh, he's solid. I was like, oh, okay, he's solid. After that, if you ain't the one that's gonna betray him, whoever getting him to the plane is. So as soon as I seen the black dude, I was like, oh man, I was like, come on. And had my optimism when the plane landed, and I'm like, yo. And then I was like, you know what, this shit is too good to be true. What the cops said, like what they at? And then I like how they gave him the what y'all said. They didn't just get blasted. Like they gave him like the Chris Brown, Michael Ealy, and Takers.
The dramatic.
Yeah. So I definitely
the Into a Love Story.
I knew it was gonna happen, but I wanted to see him get away myself, and that's an interesting. I just wanted to see him classically get away. I didn't even think about the shoot the plane down, and then they pop up on a beach in Mexico like Tyrese.
Not even like honestly, not even pop up on the beach, but like they
just don't know.
In a white suit at that.
She with the horse ready to go. But she built hope so great. Like it was so great. The cop saw them and was like, nah, go ahead, you got it. Like she perfectly built the hope. And I felt like the cherry on the top to fuck your hope would have been that plane falling down and crashing into the water and us not knowing nothing. Like you can still have hope, but that plane crashed. Like I felt like it would have just been that ultimate like fuck you and your hope type shit. I just wanted to see
or the plane crash and they be like nobody's found, but they don't show shit. Like they don't show shit after that. It just cuts. Yeah. Nobody's found,
and it just go off. You just see the credits, and Lauryn Hill starts singing and shit. Niggas would have been tight,
no, but watch, but that's how you mess around and you get a Queen and Slim too. That Lena Waithe ain't even right.
Yeah.
Like, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, she still got to sign. In a way, she still got to sign.
Have to sign also.
But I wouldn't be mad to see like a short of that, like not a feature film, but like a 20-minute short of what they did after they got away. That would have been dope. Like, or like a music video, like a long Michael Jackson, Beyonce type, Drake music video type shit, just to close it, but not necessarily make a whole new fucking movie about it. So that would have been dope.
On the short side, I would have liked. I mean, this wasn't really short, but y'all remember that joint, Childish Gambino? Well, I refer to him as Donald Glover when he acting. Yeah, when Donald Glover did with Rihanna. Yeah. So people, we at that time of the show where it's time to rate this thing. Y'all already know the rating scale, so I'm not even gonna get into all that. So without further ado, for Queen and Slim, my man Gilz, what you got?
It is a certified real masterpiece. So that's what you're gonna get from me. That's it.
Oh,
yeah. Is that another category?
We step in the gym shooting.
Agree with Gilz. I'm giving it a certified real also. The movie was dope. It was amazing. Well written. The actors was amazing. The story was great. Everything was great. I love the film. It should be postered and the Black Hall of Fame and on the front door. Fuck it. That's what I think it was dope.
My man Beastley Adams, what you got for the people?
I'm gonna give it a certified real. I know it's not an action movie, but I saw it in the theater with the wife. Had some other friends with me too. Y'all know who y'all is, but it was dope. It was dope. It was one of the movies you haven't seen a good love movie, like black love movie in a while, and here it was, and it had some extra stuff on it. So there it is.
You got out that theater with your wife. He was like, "Yo, let's rob a bank or something."
He did.
No, we did. We really did. We were discussing at dinner.
He was looking for cops. I saw him.
I wasn't looking for cops, but we some ideas came into our heads. Like, yo, if we do this, we could.
Going into this movie, y'all already know how I felt. I already told X how I felt about the movie initially on initial watch. This is why X has stressed to me so many times that it's very important to watch a film multiple times. My first initial rating for this movie, I would have had it at good watch. Because I was watching it from a fan's perspective. But after watching the movie and then we'll explain this after, then seeing certain things in this movie, watching it over and over again, this movie is definitely a certified real. It literally hits every key point that you need to hit.
About time.
And I think that's what our second unanimous is. That the second unanimous certified real?
Behind Judas and the Black Messiah. Yep.
Yes, sir. Daniel Kaluuya, he's on fire.
Hey, it might just be might turn into the Kaluuya Awards, and this he keep this up.
But that's all we got.
Everything.
Go ahead.
He's embodying everything.
But that's all we got for this episode, people. I'm Banks, as I said before, fellas. All right, that's all we got. See y'all later.